Hello everyone, Pixelem Gaming here, welcome to a new video. So today we're going to be playing the Stanley Parable. So, this game about this guy called Stanley, and, yeah. So we're going to be continuing this game. I'm not sure how many endings there are. So I'm going to see what would happen this time if I completely, don't go by the rules of the narrator and see what would happen. Because I'm not really sure how many endings there are to this game.
This is the story of a...
Yeah, I've been doing this for a while now.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, so we're going to go
When
to
Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, I don't think so.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yep, totally.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth
Some cold
admiring.
drinks.
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Love it.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Wow, look at this place. So beautiful. I would love to have some fuel.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
No, don't think I will. Whoa, this place looks cool.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Caution, do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop. Whoa. What? How do I get back there? I think there's a way, maybe. Do I go on there?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Oh,
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
okay, so was that like the death ending? I guess it was.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire
Yes,
it.
reminds me so much of the back rooms.
Wow.
Like all these rooms
Yes,
look the same.
This room.
All these halls.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so let's
Stanley
try
was
to
so
not.
bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Whoa. What if I could find a key card? But I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's try not to fall to our death.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Okay,
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
No.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well,
Yep.
don't let me stop
Why is
you.
it something bad?
You see, there's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
Oh, this is
Broken
cool.
rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far.
Well, both those
Tell you
things
what,
would be kind of
Let me
good.
take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
No, don't think I will. Alright.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Wait, what? So- No, I'm still taking the door on my left. Alright,
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
okay. Let's,
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life.
that real
I
baby.
think the art world will really take
That's
notice.
not baby.
But of
That's
course, the
cardboard.
message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over.
What?
Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a
Get
shot.
some lights back on, please. I'm scared of the dark. Oh, alright then. Never mind. Whoa, it's
Well,
Minecraft.
Stanley, is this any better? At
Yeah.
last, the one thing
Where's
you've
my
always
world?
desired. A game
My
I had
series.
absolutely
Oh, you won't let
nothing
me
to
jump.
do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
You are. Wait, what? Here? Oh.
This will go here. No, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
No, don't think I will. Do this all day. Okay, fine then.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
What? Okay, yeah. Kinda really want to go mining. It's a bit of an old version of Minecraft because there are roses in this version. And I remember when they got removed. I know I'm an older book. I'm just joking.
It looks like it's going to get a bit
But I remember
dark.
when they got
You
removed.
brought a light?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no. This
Oh,
is far
found
more
mine.
open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all.
Oh god.
1 out of 5.
It's a bit
Even the
dark for me,
diamonds couldn't
really.
save this one. Okay, new game.
What? He doesn't like Minecraft? He doesn't like Minecraft, man. Okay, what are we playing now? Oh, I also made video on this.
Yes!
Oh, cool.
I don't even know what this game is, but
Portal.
I love it. You
Oh, shit.
trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Yeah, how? Oh. He just lets me out. No portals.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking.
Give me
Stanley.
this.
Your forte. Genius.
Yeah, I'm like an Albert
No,
Einstein.
actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through.
Oh. Narrator. Work in progress. Please rate your experience, the Stanley Parable. Do I go through her? I'm falling. Okay, I think that was meant to happen. Okay, it's actually pretty freaking me out right now. God. Wait, this is my office. Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now.
Hell.
I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Wait, what? So, can I... Oh, okay, never mind. That was cool, though. I was like, I'm not sure what that was.
Stanley knew
It's
the
clearly
office layout
this.
like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Okay, so let's go to the another exit, another
When
room.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Let's
Stanley knew perfectly
follow the
well.
platform.
Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Or I could take the red door this time, I could.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. This is someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
Okay, I'm back.
Someone you've forgotten about.
I think I left this game
Stop
running
trying to
while
make
I was
every
away.
decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Asking
This
for...
is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who's her? Okay. Is my... yeah, I'm recording, great. Wait, so do I go through her? I guess I do.
That's her, Stanley.
Jesus
You need
Christ,
to be the
are you
one
trying
to
to
do
blind
this.
me?
Oh, no, you can't. Did you just unplug the
Oh,
phone?
wait, I could do
Now,
that.
that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check. No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two
Yeah, that's what I've
pledge
always
themselves
been
to
doing.
one
Things
another.
that's
Music
you
comes
not
in,
told me
fade
to
to
do.
white, roll credits.
I'll go back in
Not
then.
picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
Oh, he knew. He found
I can't
out.
believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely.
Well, yeah,
as
it's
though
a game. Who do you
completely
expect
ignored
to
even
play
the
it?
most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
You're kidding me.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that
Why
does
do you
not
do that? It just
conform
sounds
to
like too much
rational
work.
logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
Practice. Oh my gosh, it's 4:30. Am I supposed to be having a backstacking crack?
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Ah, welcome back. You may have
What
noticed
happened?
that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Oh, now I put barriers on. I could still walk from here. Still go off the edge. I'm not going to though. What if I do though? I'm not sure.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Hey, so where do I go? Do I just go back to the office?
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Wait, seriously?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nah, I don't think I will.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh. No, I think I'm still going through there. What's happened? Okay, well. Let's go back. Wait, what happened to this place?
It's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Wait, what's happening? I guess the game's shutting down. What? Oh.
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you.
Yeah.
You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Wait, what happened?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No, still won't.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the time. We'll have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
I think I was able to get back. It's the next day because I was getting kind of late.
All you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I guess I don't want to blind myself this time, so I'll enter the door on my left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Wait, what? So am I just
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, so you can't even fail this time. Okay. Well, I could see what happened here.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Do I speak it? Okay, Night Shark 115. Are you kidding me? This is...
Stanley spoke the code.
Yeah, I can't.
Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Oh, there we go. Oh, so you're not even going to do it for me? Well, how am I supposed...
Sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
Oh, he's not very happy.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. glorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
When Stanley came to a set
Wait.
of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What's happening? Is this an out-of-body experience? Hey, that's Stanley.
Stanley? Hello? Is everything okay?
This is cool.
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
The
I
end.
need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please.
This is a cool way to show the credits.
Do something? Anything? This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
That was a pretty cool ending. Do I have any more achievements on this game?
Let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley.
Okay, that's answer. Or is it? Who is it? Who's there? 40?
Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling
No.
the bread out of the oven.
I'm not
All
Jimmy.
right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Oh,
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
good morning, employee 47. Press X on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Press L.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Please press Y.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Please press 6 to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please press 4 to spend time with the boys. Yeah, I don't want this girl with me, would I?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last,
Why do you
twice,
Sky keep
it
blind?
barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Please press 9 to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one
No, this
path
guy's
lay an
destroying
enormous
my
round
life.
room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Please press G to tell your kids a story.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again,
No.
over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Please press T to tell your wife you love her. I love you.
But there is no answer.
Oh.
How could there possibly be?
You destroyed my
In reality,
entire
all
life.
he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Please press F to go to sleep. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. I'll go to sleep in my office chair.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world
But
he
this
can
bed-
never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
I mean, I'm not doing it, but I could be. But you know, I'm stuck in this quiet state, so I'm not really sure. I guess I'll have to press Q, wouldn't I?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he
Man, screw
remains
you.
here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Please press 8 to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Wait, what? That was a pretty dark ending. Oh my god.
Just a step
That's
through
the
this
darkest
door,
thing I've
Stanley
ever
thought
seen.
to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Okay, this time let's do the red door.
When
and
Stanley
then I
came
think
to a
we'll
set
go.
of two open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The
Boots.
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, let's walk through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley?
Oh.
I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Nah. What? Okay, let's do this.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy. No, wait. Where are you going?
Away.
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
I swore there's something up here. Oh, this door. Oh.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. No, no, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Oh, this is so dumb.
Stanley, let's go
Oh,
back
I'm
to the
slowly
other
crippling
room.
myself, I think.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over?
Oh.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Okay. So that was, I guess that was another death ending. Okay, I'm getting close to the end of the game, so I think this is a short ending. You know, I'll just stay here. Oh, there we go.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed. Then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Wait. Okay, this is the next ending.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes, I actually am this time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an aunt. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, it's really hard.
Stepping in.
There we go. Well, the narrator's not here anymore, so there's a surprise. He's usually always here. I'm not sure what happened. You are now leaving. Escape pod bay floor 760. What's happening? 5K, this is 55. $56. Whoa, that's my office. That's cool. 57. Wait, does this mean there's like multiples of my office? 58. 59. 60. Okay. I guess I escaped. Okay, this is the out of the
Someone
window
was
ending.
following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Oh. Okay, nice.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag? No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected Continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Okay, well, there's no getting out of the window ending. It's a secret ending. So this is why I'm
All of his
doing the next
co-workers were
ending.
gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh yeah, right, okay. So... I'll begin the game again. So you have to press an input on a computer. I probably would have never found this out
All of
unless
his
I looked up.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, now let's begin the game again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Here we go. Now... Okay, let's see what happens. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Wait, so this is why I experienced for eternity? Well guys, I've done it. So I hope you like watching. This game was pretty cool. I think I'm going to move on to the next Stanley game soon. Stanley Parable game. So yeah, anyway, hope you like watching as always. See you next time. Bye.